To Money Confidence. I'm Crystal Oculee, the Chief Financial Strategist here at Confidence Wealth, and every week I try to bring a topic to you that's talked about and it's important and see how that can help you. So this last week, really most of my conversation has been revolving around volatility. We all know that there is volatility pretty much through some of the years of any of our stages of financial planning. So remember, there is 3 stages, right? There's stage that we call accumulation phase. That's when you're younger, you are accumulating money, you're working, and you're aggressively investing. So during the accumulation phase, volatility doesn't really have so much effect on you unless it's emotional. But logically speaking, looking at the numbers, when someone is in their 40s, they have plenty of time till retirement. So it's okay if they're in a volatile portfolio. Something that we refer to as sequence of return is not going to have much of an effect on them. Sequence of return is what happens, in negatives and positives and the actual order of them. So when you have many, many years to retirement, it's really going to be okay and it's not going to really affect you. But now let's jump into the preservation phase. Preservation phase is you're about 5 to 10 years away from retirement. You want to preserve what you have and you don't want to go backwards when the time for retirement and withdrawal comes in. So one of the biggest factor of why volatility can affect that is if you're in the preservation phase of retirement, and I'm going to just use this as an example. Let's just say you have $1 million. And you're building, you're adding money in, and all of a sudden, 3 years, 2 years away from retirement, the market drops. And if you're super aggressive and your whole portfolio drops 30-40%, to make that back up is going to be much harder because number one, your span of time just shortened. On top of it, if the market goes down 30%, it takes a lot more than 30% to make it up, and that doesn't happen overnight. And then if you all of a sudden retire and now you have to take money out, that can truly backfire on you, which forwards me to the distribution phase of retirement. The distribution phase of retirement, that sequence of return truly matters because let's use that $1 million as an example. You are now retired. You're no longer adding money in, so you're not buying dollar cost averaging when the market drops. So you're not adding value and buying at low to grow that and make up for the losses like you did in your accumulation phase, or maybe part of your preservation phase. Distribution phase of retirement, you're just taking money out to supplement your income, right? So if it drops and you're taking money out of it, and the sequence of the negatives are at the beginning years of your retirement, that can truly backfire and have you run out of money much faster than you ever expected. This is one of the reasons that a lot of times people just don't pay attention because they're going with what the talking heads are saying and they're forgetting that the talking heads and what you hear is not about individualized plan. So for example, when you hear Warren Buffett said, the S&P 500 is always going to be positive, leave it alone. He's absolutely right if you leave it alone and your investments are in there and you never need money from it. But in reality, most people need money from their investments. If they're lucky enough that they don't need it at the beginning years of retirement, later they do. Or when required minimum distribution kicks in that they have to withdraw. So all these things can have a big impact depending on the sequence of return, when volatility happens, because no one can project it, and how much you're withdrawing. So that's one of the biggest reasons that no matter what stage you are in, you have to stop and say, do I need to make adjustments? Because now I'm getting closer to retirement. And now I have a shorter time frame left. It doesn't mean you don't invest. It means you create different buckets that are set up for different times. You have a conservative strategy that is going to be more for, okay, if things are not going well, this is my safety net, your protected bucket. Then you've got your, stock market where you can be more aggressive with, where let's say diversified portfolio, and you have different buckets that are set up also for different times. Maybe one geared towards moderate for 5 years down the line, maybe one geared for moderately aggressive 10 years down the line, and maybe one that's super aggressive for 15 years down the line. So it really is important to understand that and have a good foundation in place. That foundational planning can truly help you where the sequence of return and volatility is not going to be your enemy and destroy everything you have built. When you build that good foundational plan where you know what do you need, which buckets are set up for different times, that can truly help get you to the next level and get you through the rocky roads of the stock market, because the rocky roads are always going to be there. Now, obviously, if you're a current client and you set up a holistic plan with us and all of that is controlled, your buckets are already set up. But if this is the first time you're hearing this and you're maybe friends and family of our clients and you're like, you know what, Crystal, I don't know. I just had my investments the way that's been set up. I think I'm okay. Or you may have an advisor and you think they're doing okay and you're not sure. Getting a second opinion can truly help you with that. So it never hurts to look at things. And current clients, that's one of the things I always tell my clients, it always is good to keep rerunning the Monte Carlo simulations. Now, I know we do that on all annual reviews, but if you ever hear and you're kind of concerned because you're hearing the news and you're worried, this is why running those stress tests can put your mind at ease. That way you don't make any emotional mistakes, because anytime you make adjustments, it has to be based on logic and based on economic factors, not based on emotion. Emotion can backfire on you. Sometimes it may be the right and sometimes it will be a wrong decision. So that's the reason why it truly will be helpful to you to understand your foundational plan and really have that all set up for different times. With that said, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And if you want to talk about a topic that I haven't talked about yet, please feel free to let me know. So until next week, talk to you soon.